I got laid off from my $115,000 per year job, and here's how FIRE movement saved our asses. For those who don't know, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Here's a fun real-world example of one of the benefits that you may encounter during your journey to FIRE: getting laid off. A bit of a background: my wife and I are currently both around 40. In 2017, my wife and I found ourselves house poor, as it's often called. 3 years before, we had been together for 10 years, and finally got married. Then we bought a house, because that's what you do next, right? 1,800 square feet house, just barely within our budget. Added things to credit cards for the house, bought furniture on credit, etc., etc. A few years later, there's no money for anything that isn't planned out. And then when the unplanned happened, we broke down. Long story short, we sold the house, made around $50,000, paid off $45,000 in debt, credit cards, cars, everything, moved into an apartment for less than our mortgage. Around this time, we discovered FIRE. I read all the books, I mapped out our finances. We started investing, only a couple hundred per month, but it felt great. We decided that we love our free time and want to maximize it in life. We set an aggressive plan for retirement by 50, 45 as a goal, but 50 as a hard stop. We also decided not to have kids. We made more career moves. During the peak of COVID, we bought a cargo van, and I converted it into a home on wheels. We had talked about doing such a thing for years, maximizing the time we have on this world, traveling and enjoying life, while still working remotely and investing as much as we could so we could retire as early as possible. Earlier this year, we did it. We got a storage unit, moved out of our apartment, and hit the road full time. It was, and continues to be, freaking awesome. I work at a fintech startup, and we've been having some tough times. 10% layoff back in June, reprioritization of work, etc. They've quietly laid off a few others since then. Last week, I heard of deep cuts in various surrounding departments. Friday, I got the call. It was a nonsensical calendar invite from my manager. The event was private. Our HR person had a private block on her calendar at the same time. I knew it was time. I got the usual stuff. But the long and short of the conversation and the truth that I implore you to accept is that we are all lines on a spreadsheet, and the formula determining my value simply didn't hit the mark. I am on a spreadsheet. You are on a spreadsheet. A company is not a family. It's a business. It's alive. It's like a lizard. It lives, it breathes, and when needed it gets rid of parts of itself in order to save itself. We're in Florida currently, and we were parked at the beach when I got this call. It was nice to get laid off while looking at the sea, watching pelicans dive for fish, and to hear the waves crashing. I wasn't mad. I was actually kind of happy, I suppose. I had been growing frustrated and I was already actively looking for something else. But more so, I wasn't mad because financially, it didn't matter. We were making combined $165,000 per year, and our expenses were around $26,000 per year. My wife makes $50,000. Because of FIRE, we had planned an emergency fund of 6 months of expenses. We have $225,000 in an investment account. I will get unemployment. I have 6 years of fintech experience in multiple areas of the organization. No one died. Without FIRE, if we had never left house poor mode, or even if we had corrected course from it to allow for $500 extra each month, we'd be screwed. We would never have built up much of a savings account. We would be inundated with bills for furniture that we financed and cars that we leased and replacement windows we put on a credit card, to say nothing of unexpected home repair expenses, which in a 160-year-old house were everywhere. Are we retired? Heck no. Are we screwed? Also heck no. Right now I write this to you on the beach. This morning, just to be a little extra safe, I canceled a few subscription services that were nice to haves but not necessary. I've had my coffee and oatmeal. Later I'm going to have a job interview, and then I'm going to go for a run, then a swim. Because of the FIRE journey, if my wife lost her job and unemployment wasn't available, we still have a 10-year runway for our current lifestyle. Even when we had an apartment, we would still have a 6 to 7 year runway. I'm actually elated that this happened at this point in time, because we were ready. Are you?
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear longer stories similar to this one, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Alright, thanks, bye.